The ABC 17 Storm Track Severe Weather Special, sponsored by ATR Towing and Recovery and Boone Electric Cooperative, starts now.
While winter weather continues for much of mid-Missouri, parts of the country along the Mississippi and Missouri rivers have already seen devastating flooding. Thanks for joining us for the ABC 17 Storm Track Severe Weather Special. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jessica Quick. The floodwaters have receded following weeks of historic flooding in Mississippi earlier this year. The state saw significant spring-like flooding for much of February that prompted thousands to evacuate their homes. In North Dakota, the United States Army Corps of Engineers has already increased the water release of the Missouri River at Gavins Point Dam from 35,000 to 38,000 cubic feet per second as a preemptive measure ahead of elevated flood risks for 2020. And with the Missouri and Mississippi rivers meeting right here in Missouri, emergency management officials are already bracing the state to experience significant flooding this severe weather season. During the Storm Track Severe Weather Special, the Storm Track Weather Team will tell you everything you need to know to prepare, tracking everything from flood chances, tornado impacts, power outages, and what you can expect as mid-Missouri begins to thaw for the summer.
We'll also break down the process and protocol for cutting into regular programming during severe weather. We'll go through the criteria we consider and why we cut in for some severe weather events and not others. Many times we get emails following break-in coverage saying, well, it was sunny at my house. There was no reason for you to cut into my favorite TV show or sports broadcast. In tonight's special, we'll clear up any confusion on why we make those decisions.
It is nearly impossible to predict the exact location of a tornado until it's happening, so taking measurements to determine the strength of a storm is tough. Instead of measuring the wind speed of a cyclone while it's happening, meteorologists can determine the strength of a tornado based upon the destruction that it causes. However, the system we currently use poses a big flaw that impacts many regions over our viewing area. We dove into the topic to find out more.
Also in tonight's special, the Storm Track Weather Team is looking into how we can identify tornadoes using only radar. We have a way using just radar to identify whether or not a rotating storm is actively causing damage using Debris Tracker. I'll take a look at that tool, and hopefully we don't have to use it this severe season.
An early alert to dangerous weather can mean the difference between life and death. We're diving in deeper into the process that meteorologists at the National Weather Service go through in order to issue warnings during severe weather events. Plus, I'll walk you through just how each warning could impact you.
And we are tracking your long-range spring forecast. We'll tell you what you need to keep your family safe this severe weather season, to give you an idea what to expect this spring with an active pattern ahead, along with what's normal for mid-Missouri from March through May. By now, you've probably heard about ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Alert Days, but what exactly is a Weather Alert Day? The Storm Track Weather Team will issue a Weather Alert Day in the spring and summer months for weather events that bring the threat of widespread tornadic activity in the viewing area. Strong thunderstorms, heavy rain that brings the possibility for flash flooding or hail, and for high wind speeds enough to cause damage. The Storm Track Weather Team will also issue Weather Alert Days for a heat index over 100 degrees. And as you may know, Missouri weather at times seems unpredictable, but the Storm Track Weather Team analyzes several different forecast models days in advance to give you the most notice possible. The ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Team works around the clock 365 days a year to bring you up-to-the-minute details for weather conditions across mid-Missouri. And you can keep up with all the changes 24/7 online at abc17news.com. Once on the site, look for the Weather tab. There you'll have access to live Doppler radar as well as a Storm Track Insider blog and the 7-day forecast for Columbia and Jefferson City. You can also take those tools with you on the go with the ABC 17 Storm Track Weather app. That's available for download in the Apple or Google Play stores. The start of the severe weather season means it's becoming more likely we cut into scheduled programming for severe weather. ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Luke Victor joins me here in the studio. And Luke, there's a lot of decision making and planning that goes into that kind of coverage.
Yeah, Jessica, sometimes it's a football game or maybe The Bachelor, and hopefully this can shed some light on what we as meteorologists consider whenever we're seeing these storms roll into mid-Missouri. Has a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it, meaning it'll have 60+ mile-an-hour winds and the potential of 1-inch diameter hail. If anything changes here over the next several minutes, we'll be sure to cut back into coverage and let you know what's going on.
3, 2, 1, and Luke, you're cleared.
Situations like these are probably going to become a little bit more common, especially as we head into the severe weather season. Cutting into coverage, and sometimes it overlaps your favorite TV show or maybe a sports broadcast, and we do not take that decision lightly. But our #1 goal here at ABC 17 is protecting Mid-Missouri and providing critical weather information, especially during severe weather season when time really matters. And we don't just cover one household, we cover several hundreds of thousands of households across all of Mid-Missouri. And these aren't just numbers on a map, these are families that need to be protected in dire severe weather situations. And while you might have sunny skies at your house, there might be storms somewhere else. As we know, the weather can be very variable here in Mid-Missouri. And we cover anything from flood warnings, but those are a little bit more rare, to severe thunderstorm warnings. We monitor what are the threats and how widespread are they, and we can cover those for anywhere between 30 seconds to several minutes. And for a tornado warning, we're covering it no matter what, and we are going to go until the threat is over. We have to remember, here at ABC 17, our #1 goal is protecting you and your family as these threats move into our area. Reporting for the Storm Track Weather Team, I'm meteorologist Luke Victor.
With spring storms just around the corner, it's important for us to understand which parts of the weather can be dangerous. ABC 17 Storm Track forecaster Maddie S. dove into the dangers of lightning and how it forms.
In order for us to get lightning, we first have to have warm air rising that's going to create some clouds. Now, within these clouds, there are going to be water and ice particles present. Now, when those collide, that's what's going to create those electric charges that are necessary for the formation of lightning. Now, both positive and negative charges are created from these collisions, and those are going to separate out to where the cloud top becomes a positive charge, whereas the cloud bottom becomes negative. Now, this all seems fine and dandy, but take a look at the ground. The ground is going to be positively charged, and that's where we're going to start seeing an attraction between the bottom of the cloud base and the ground. Now, the energy from the negative charges is going to go toward the positive charge, and that's where we're going to start seeing those flashes of lightning. It's actually energy moving between